and welcome to KnightHunter Books. Today we're taking inspiration from Mercy's Bookish Musings, who did a video a little while ago about predicting what books on her TBR pile might become 5-star reads, and it's now all over the place, lots of videos are out there, so we thought we would jump on the bandwagon. We'll also link her video down below, and she has then followed that one up with actually, after she's read these, reviewing her success, which we will do as well. We've only picked 3 each to keep this brief, and also the fact that our TBR piles are not actually that big.
No. I particularly found this quite difficult because if I'm really excited about a book and I think it's going to be a 5-star read, I just read it.
Yeah.
So this has been interesting. My first book is Raven Stratagem by Yoon, which is the sequel to the wildly successful Nine Fox Gambit, which I read and thoroughly enjoyed, and this should kick the conflict set up in that into a higher gear. The original Nine Fox Gambit featured, I think, an interesting blend of stuff that was wildly original. So the idea of the culture of a society influencing how mathematics and technology works. So the fact that, you know, people have to be ritually tortured for spaceship shields to work was really interesting, and combining that with sort of a slightly more accessible, if slightly tropey kind of, you know, spaceship combat and sort of a more traditional military far SF. And I'd hope that the sequel sort of continues in that vein.
My first one, which I'm now actually regretting having put in this pile because I've just realised that means I've got to read this soon. Been putting this off for ages.
Just read book 1. It's an omnibus edition.
This is an omnibus edition of Haruki Murakami's 1Q84, which is a trilogy. And the reason I've put this on the list is I'm a little unsure about this one, but I loved Haruki Murakami as a teenager. You know, I'd read most of his works, and they tended to be kind of 4-star reads, if not 5. But the ones which I rated 5-star were the ones that were further from reality and more kind of speculative in genre. And this one is dystopian. So this is an author that I really like, but trying out a genre that I really like as well. My only worry is that as I've got older, the Murakamis I've read more recently I've found slightly more annoying. So I'm hoping that reading 900 pages of this won't just be too noticeable that he goes back to the same tropes.
You're not expecting an outsider protagonist who's lonely, who gets his life turned upside down by a manic pixie dream girl.
With lots of cats. Yeah, so this is a book which I've been expecting to be a 5-star read for about 5 years and haven't quite got around to. So it'll be really interesting to actually finally read it and see if I'm right.
My next one is another sequel.
I feel like that's kind of cheating.
A little bit, but well, this is about predicting 5-star reads, and typically if you're going to make it to book 7 in a series, there's kind of prior investment. So you have to rate the last book highly, otherwise you shouldn't have read them all. This is The Girl Who Raced Fairyland All the Way Home by Catherynne M Valente, and this is the final book in the Fairyland series, which honestly part of me's been putting off because I don't really want it to be over, and it's going to be interesting to see if it can live up to the rest of the series, which is lyrical and magical and very self-conscious about being story, and those are all features that I love, and I know that I've traditionally gotten very well with this series. Time to bite the bullet and say goodbye to September.
Oh. Which is the protagonist.
Which is the name of the protagonist. I'm not thinking about the month.
My second 5-star read prediction is for Uprooted by Naomi Novik, which I haven't read any of her books before, but I've seen a lot of positive reviews out there. I think, honestly, this is just going to tap into the kind of relationship I like reading about but don't want to admit I like reading about. So kind of experienced older man, tutoring younger. This is the type of thing I read fan fiction about. So I'm expecting that I might just enjoy this so much that even if my kind of top brain is going, this isn't the best, I'll just be enjoying it too much to not rate it 5 stars. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, this has got a kind of fantasy setting, which sounds quite intriguing, got a lot of fairy tale elements, which are all good things as well.
So my final one is shock horror, not a sequel. This is The Sorcerer of the Wildeeps by Shanthi Wilson.
And you haven't even read the author before?
No. This is one of the Tor.com line of novellas. This one in particular has had a lot of positive reviews, not least by Books and Pieces. One thing that sounds particularly appealing about this is that it's a bit of a genre bender. Also, there's a protagonist of colour who is in a gay relationship. Much as my other picks might not suggest it, I do like to read something new on occasion. And it's blurbed by Daniel Jose Older, who I've read a couple of his works and I'm a big fan, and Max Gladstone and Alyssa Wong, so yeah, that's 3 good blurbs there, I think.
My final one is actually a graphic novel, which is Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. I think this one's on my list because I think I just expect it to be so much fun. I think this twists on the tropes of kind of superheroes, supervillains.
In a fantasy setting, weirdly.
Yeah. And I think this ticks a few things that I really like in graphic novels. So the art is exactly the kind of style I like. Also, I think from what you've said, actually, it does go a little bit deeper with the world building. So I think just being that bit longer than a usual kind of serial graphic novel will enable it to do that. And I think we're following the bad guys.
Yes.
I like bad guys. I've heard lots of good things about it. I'm very hopeful. It'll be really interesting to see actually how good we are at predicting, because it's the sort of thing you assume you're really good at, but I don't think you tend to follow up and actually check if the books you were really excited about were the ones that...
And bizarrely, in our professional lives, we both do a fair amount of prediction work. So, sort of forecasting various things, and one of the most important sort of tools for that is you check back and go, was I any good at predicting?
Suddenly I want to now start predicting what stars I'm going to give every book and have monthly performance reviews.
And it's quite interesting watching some of these videos, looking at actually people who read a lot and review a lot turn out to be absolute bobbins at actually predicting what's going to be good.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.